Hey, all you sports fans, or to you, the individual fan out there in the tubosphere as part of the collective. Excuse me, it's the last show of the night. Welcome to the One Man Sports Rant, talk radio version. I am your host, as it were, Will, the alternative ESPN Sports Thrill. Being the talk radio version, I'm not going to be talking very long, especially on this episode. Alright, just a reminder, the OMSR is a show. We have to do it like this. It's called the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So, in order to borrow others' content, there has to be an amalgamation of your own original content. It's covered by, what's known as the fair use standard. Minimal use, derivatives, and all that falls under it. So, video highlights courtesy to ESPN, all the other original content, the overall concept courtesy to the OMSR. So just briefly, I forgot to give props to Gilmore on the last talk radio version. This episode, and for once, I'm doing it specific per each talk radio version. Brett Mielman talking about the rules favoring the hurry-up offense, and we agree with him. So does Rod Gilmore. I mean, there will be some changes. There should be, at least before the playoff system kicks in. It should be like a 15-second minimal rule, where the clock doesn't run off type deal. The defense should be able to match the offense. Otherwise, it's not fair. It's not fair play. Well, who said football was ever fair? Who said life is fair? But you know what? No sport should be, it's not that way in basketball type deal, should be slanted in favor of one side or the other. And then Rod Gilmore talks about his top safety picks. And then on the last episode, there was some more Johnny Manziel. The only reason I bring that up now, because we're not talking about that. I will not bring up Johnny Ubiquitous, like Johnny U, ain't Unitas, talking about here, any further. Enough. We're moving past Johnny Manziel. I will just say, though, on this episode, and hopefully I remember to bring it up, this is why you don't give Heisman trophies to freshmen. Let's see what you got in your sophomore year and your junior year. You can't wait to leave College Station. You got 2 more years there, and you're talking like that. That's going to be pretty gosh darn interesting. All right. Thanks for watching. No silly DUIs while you're out there. That is our catchphrase. All right. Roll graphics.
It's their property. They get to use it, not UCLA. But the other types of positions that come up to me, you think tailback U? To me, that's USC. Heisman winners, Charlie White, Garrett, Marcus Allen, that stands out for me. And then if I think defensive back U, I think the U. I think Miami. I think
the U of you. Oh my God!
Like that. They've had so many first-round draft picks. That stands out for me as defensive back U.
And this generation, maybe in the next few years, we'll be talking about Alabama and the offensive linemen, or Stanford,
or Wisconsin,
and the tight ends. Wisconsin's had a tremendous run, so we'll see what is defined now. Coming up, Rod's done the research. Let's watch the tapes, put the list together. It's his best safeties in the country. First 2 rounds of the NFL draft. Former Texas star Kenny Vaccaro, first-round pick by the Saints, had a couple of picks, forced a pair of fumbles for the Longhorns a year ago. The 49ers, they took LSU safety Eric Reed at number 18, 6'1", 213, has that good size you look for, was AP's second-team All-America. Super Bowl champs, the Ravens, they closed out the first round with Florida safety Matt Elam. AP first-teamer, had 11 tackles for loss. Jaguars in the second round, they opened it up with Jonathan Cyprien out of FIU, 93 tackles, 4 picks. And former South Carolina safety DJ Swearinger, he's with the Texans, selected 57th overall. He had 7 passes broken up for the Gamecocks. Talking defensive backs with our favorite defensive back, Rod Gilmore. Yesterday, you ranked the top 5 cornerbacks heading into the 2013 college football season. Today, top 5 safeties. And this is an interesting group because of what's been going on in college football with offenses lately. Much more is asked of them. We put the free safeties, strong safeties together, but with all the multiple receiver sets, with the spread concepts of offense, they have to be hybrid. They have to play every which way.
You're exactly right. And this is the last line of defense. I mean, we need these guys to have basically 3 attributes. You've got to have range, you have to be a sure tackler, and we want big plays out of you. So we've got 5 strong safeties and 5 free safeties up here.
Top 5 heading in to the fall. Take it away.
All right, we're going to start number 5, Lamarcus Joyner, free safety, Florida State. And he is one of these great players that has the ability to come up and make plays in the box. He's only 5'8", but he plays with great leverage, great balance, really strong in the run game. Down the field, he gives you big plays. He's got great speed, and that great speed allows him to play wide receivers in the slot and outside. He's actually another cornerback on the field for you when you need him.
And he's surrounded by speed all over that defense at Florida State. Number 4, Rod.
Let's go over to the SEC. Craig Lawson, LSU, another guy who has great instincts and gives you big plays. Really talented. Love what he does. He has the instincts to be aware of the football and makes plays. Second team All-SEC last season. And what's somewhat underrated about him is that he's good in the box. He's a really good sure tackler. I like that. But the thing that stands out is his ability to make big plays for you.
You mentioned the tackling. He had 55 tackles last year for LSU. And I'm sure we're not done with the SEC just peeking over with who remains. Top 3 heading into 2013.
Well, there's one guy that I trust more than any other player on this board.
How so, Rod? Why has Keith Smith out of Louisville?
Oh, this guy, you put on the tape, he is always in the right place. He doesn't have the great stats. You're not going to see a lot of pick sixes or picks from him, but he will be in the right gap when it comes to the run game. He'll be in the right zone in zone coverage, and he's a sure tackler. He's going to make sure that nobody gets behind him and makes a play. I like him. I trust him. And if he had the big plays like other guys, he might be number 1 or number 2.
Of course, the average fan out there knows Teddy Bridgewater. They don't think about the Louisville defense. Smith makes your top 3. Top 2 safeties heading into the fall.
Really close. Very talented, both of them. But I'm going to go right at number 2 with Clinton Dix out of the SEC, out of Alabama. And all you needed to see was what he did in the championship game against Notre Dame. Big games, he plays well. He played well against Georgia in the SEC championship game. But the spectacular play against Notre Dame, unbelievable. Great range. We talk about range. He went from the middle of the field to the sideline and made the play. A pick. It's really special.
The 2 of us were about 10 feet away from that interception. We were standing right there on the sidelines when he made that play. Landon College, Vinny Sinceri at the other safety position. So once again, Saban's done it again. Just keeps developing these defensive backs and all that talent back there. Number 1 safety heading into college football 2013.
Would have been number 1. But there's a guy who delivers more big plays. You can't ignore Ed Reynolds of Stanford. What he did last season was truly outstanding, and his potential, amazing. He's the best safety Stanford's had since Johnny Lynch, and we know what he did. But what this young man did last season, 6 picks, 3 pick sixes, turned around the Pac-12 championship game. Stanford was down, but that play right there changed everything. We talk about range, he gives it to you. You talk about sure tackling, he does that at the line of scrimmage. But big plays, no one delivered more big plays than Ed Reynolds.
Ed Reynolds, we'll see what happens. Of course, he'll have that showdown against Marcus Mariota and Oregon come November. See if that determines not just the Pac-12, but perhaps playing for the national championship.